Most locksmiths are honest. A few are not. Call one of the disreputable companies and your bad day will get a lot worse.
Como 4's problem solver Herb Weisbaum is investigating these shady characters and even caught one of their rip-offs on camera. Herb?
Dan and Kathy, you lock your keys in the car, and you would never call a locksmith in the Bronx, at least not intentionally. But that's exactly what will happen if you call some of the companies we found working in the Seattle area. They're all part of a nationwide network based in New York City. But you never know that because they pretend to be from here.
Is this where you take all the phone calls from all over the country?
Excuse me.
Is this it? This is it?
The people at Dependable Locks in the Bronx don't talk to reporters, and for good reason. The Better Business Bureau says Dependable is part of a nationwide locksmith swindle that's ripping off consumers across the country.
These guys operate everywhere, and they've made their business model out of taking advantage of people who are locked out of their house and their car.
Flip through the Seattle Yellow Pages and you may spot these two full-page ads, Always Ready Locksmith and Quick Locksmith. Both promise low prices and fast service. Now, the ads don't list an address, but with all the 206 and 425 area codes, it's reasonable to assume they're both local companies. They're not. Both are part of Dependable Lock. Dial any of these numbers and your call is answered back at the New York Dispatch Center.
You're quoted a reasonable price, but when the locksmith arrives, he actually charges you 2, 3, even 4 times more than what you were quoted.
We wanted to see for ourselves, so we drove to the Northgate Park and Ride and had Stephanie, a Como intern, deliberately lock her keys in the car. She called Always Ready Locksmith using the North Seattle number in the phone book.
I lock my keys in my car.
And how much would it cost to send someone out?
$39 plus $15 and up to open.
So the job would be at least $54, but the dispatcher could not be any more specific than that. Stephanie was told to expect someone in 20 to 30 minutes. The wait was a lot longer. It took an hour for the locksmith, a guy in an unmarked car, to arrive. The first thing he did was tell Stephanie the charge was going to be a lot more than $54. He wanted $114, more money than we were willing to pay.
When you told him you only had $95 on you, what did he say? Or what happened?
He asked for an ATM card, and I told him I didn't have anything on me, and then he hesitantly took $95.
We watched from a distance as this so-called locksmith fumbled around trying to get into the car. He didn't appear to have the proper tools, and he didn't seem to know what he was doing. From start to finish, it took him 6 minutes to get the door open. Now it was time for a few answers.
Hi there.
Like why he charged so much for this simple job.
Because it's automatic locks, this is how it costs.
So you think that's fair to people?
$95? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah, it's fair. We give it like 20-25 minutes response, so it's pretty fair.
Well, actually it took almost an hour.
Okay.
Remember, he wanted $114. Stephanie talked him down to $95. He told me his name was Sean and that if I wanted more information, I could contact the main office, Dependable Locksmith in the Bronx. Sean gave us a receipt. It wasn't until later that I noticed that it was for $39, not the $95 we'd paid him. That would make it a lot harder to file a complaint.
These companies have been impossible when it comes to getting refunds, when it comes to answering complaints. They are absolutely non-responsive.
And it isn't easy for a reporter to get them to respond to the allegations of deceptive business practices. The company's attorney did return my call, but he would only talk off the record. That's a no comment. So our colleagues at WABC-TV in New York agreed to go to the Bronx and try to talk to someone from Dependable.
The Better Business Bureau has called you particularly disreputable about that. You don't care that people have to pay more than you...
Well, they're not talking, but the Better Business Bureau tells me it's getting complaints from around the country about Dependable Locks. So how do you protect yourself? Well, if you're locked out of your car and you're a AAA member, call them. If you're not a member, they will refer you to a reputable tow company that can get you in. Other options, call your local police department or a friend for a referral. Just don't pick a name at random from the phone book. As you've just seen, you never know who might show up. You will find a lot more about this on our website, comotv.com. Dan, Kathy?
Herb, that car you used, the 2000 Acura, is it really that hard to get into?
We didn't think it was, but we wanted to make sure. And for someone who knows what he's doing, it's not difficult at all. We took the car to the AAA repair shop in downtown Seattle. We locked the car and asked Fred here, one of the service techs, to show us how quickly he could get in. It didn't take very sophisticated tools, just the training to know what to do. Fred had the door open, in just 35 seconds. There you go. Clearly, the locks on this car were no reason for that added service charge.
That Sean guy wanted $114 when he showed up. What does a reputable guy charge for something like that?
We called around. A reputable locksmith during the daytime hours would charge between $50 and $75. So again, a greatly inflated price.
Wow. All right. Thanks very much, Herb.